Hey Lyoko Warriors, this is Captain Heat here for you for another Lyoko episode review. This is going to be season 2, episode 15, titled Ultimatum. So let's get into it. So after the opening, we cut to we cut to Jeremy in the factory telling the group about how an EMP works, and Odd is telling him to hurry up because they got class in 20 minutes. So they're inside the factory, and he's explaining what an EMP does because EMPs, they like not disintegrate, but they mess up electronics in like a 5 mile radius. And if you set off an EMP next to somebody that's possessed by Xana, that's gonna make Xana come out of them because Xana's like he's not like electronic, but he's like a program electronic thing. Like whatever Xana really is the exact same as electronic. So that's gonna mess up Xana and make him get out of whoever he's possessing. So hey, it looks like everything's gonna work out. But the only problem is the EMP that they have isn't small. They got a pretty big one. Anyway, we cut to school, and it's Jeremy, Alita, and Ulrich sitting on the stairs to the cafeteria. And while they're sitting there, Yumi walks up. Sissy walks up, and she goes, "Hey Ulrich, where's Yumi? Oh wait, I just remembered. I just saw Yumi with William. How stupid of me." Ulrich goes, "You got that right." She laughs and she walks away. Jeremy goes, "Hey Ulrich, how come every time Sissy comes around, you get all nasty?" He says, "I don't know. Maybe some of her nastiness rubbed off on me." At that exact moment, Jeremy's computer goes off. It doesn't activate a tower. So Alita, Ulrich, and Jeremy all get up and they start to walk towards the factory. But then Jim's like, "Whoa, what are y'all players doing? Y'all class is that way." Here we go. So they have to go to music class. Right after that, we cut to Odd, Yumi, and William talking on the stairs to the science building, and they hear the bell ring. So Odd goes, "Well, I gotta go to music class with the rest of the group." William says, "Oh man, you're lucky. Me and Yumi gotta go to chemistry." As soon as that happened, Mr. Delmos, the principal, walks up on him. They're like, "Hey sir, how you doing? We're just getting to class." And hey, someone was me. They're like, "Hey sir, how you doing? We're just getting to class right now." As soon as that happened, he grabs Yumi and Odd. They're like, "Oh, hey, you're kind of hurting us, man. Can you let go?" And then William says, "Yeah, you're kind of hurting them." And puts his hand on his shoulder. So when he does that, we just see him look. And the very next scene is William flying through the double doors and then sliding and hitting the stairs. Then Mr. Delmos grabs Yumi and because at first it was just like their hand, but it like full on grabs the whole bodies. Goes to a car, pushes them into the car, gets into the car, and he's possessed by Xana. You see the eyes, and obviously because when he walks over to the car doors just fling open. He doesn't even touch it. He's like 5 feet away from the car, and the car doors just fling open. Okay, the car doors just fling open, and he puts him into the car and drive away. And in the distance, you see William like limping over there, like, "Hey, no!" And Mr. Delmos, Xana just drives away with them. This is the scene where William gets thrown like a rag doll through the double doors. Hey, I'll be limping too. Look how hard Xana threw this man. Xana was ruthless. Look how hard he threw this man. He's like, "Hey, you hurt my friend." I'm surprised he didn't break anything. I'm very surprised he didn't break anything. Let me put this towel back on the TV. I gotta find a better system, man. I'll tell y'all. I gotta find a way better system. Okay. So right after that, William starts going around spazzing out about, the principal just kidnapped Yumi and I. Like, what's going on here? Herb hears this commotion, and he goes inside the music room where Jeremy, Alita, and Ulrich are, and tells the music teacher that Mr. Delmos, the principal, just kidnapped 2 kids. Obviously, everybody in the classroom is freaking out. He tells everybody to settle down. He walks out the classroom. As soon as that happens, Ulrich tries to call Yumi. She doesn't answer, and the tower is always still activated. So they're all like, "Xana," but then they don't get up for a second because I was doing so well. Sorry, they don't get up for a second because Jeremy gets a text on his phone, and it's from Xana. And Xana says that bring Alita to the ice sector in 20 minutes so the Schizozoic can steal her memories, or Yumi and Odd are gonna get liquefied. So like, "Oh no, we gotta go." So they all get up. As soon as they get up, the music teacher comes back and he goes, "Everybody sit down. Ain't nobody going nowhere." You gotta be kidding me. Like, you do. They try to go deactivate the tower in the first place. Boom. Get the class. They get an ultimatum. She's thinking of ultimatum from Xana. I'm gonna kill your friend if you don't bring a leader to the factory. Okay, let's go. Everybody sit down. You gotta be kidding me. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Anyway, as soon as that happens, we cut to Yumi and Odd. They both wake up and they passed out. And they're like, whoa, where are we? And it's freezing in here. Like, they're shivering like crazy. And Xana and Mr. Delmos is just standing like 10 feet in front of them, just looking side to side. And then they're like, we gotta get out of here somehow. Odd gets up, he goes, hey, sir, Xana, Mr. Delmos, how about you? And Xana just turns around, does this. He uses like a bolt of electricity to push Odd back, and he hits the pipes behind him. He goes, whoa. Yumi's like, Odd, are you okay? Yeah, I'm good, but I don't think we're gonna cooperate. I don't think Xana's ready to cooperate with us. And we cut back to school, and everybody's walking around outside. Why? Because there's two detectives there to question William and Sissy. William because he saw the whole thing happen, and Sissy, well, that's the principal's daughter, so that maybe she has some information. And Jim says, well, classes are disabled, not disabled. Classes are suspended for the day. Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't think of the word. Classes are done for the day. Everybody can just go home or go back to their dorms. These two detectives, Sissy, William, come here. They're gonna talk to you. And then Jeremy, Ulrich, and Aelita, they start walking off to the factory. And then Sissy goes, "Hey, how about those three? They're always hanging around Odd and Yumi." And then they're like, "Oh yeah, that's right. You guys come over here. We're gonna question you." And Jeremy goes, "This is just not our day. I'll be spazzing. This is the third time in a row, like the past hour, they're trying to get to the factory. And then, hey, no. Come back here. Sit down. Where you guys going? This is ridiculous." And now it's even like more tense. Now it's even more tense because they have this ultimatum on their hands. They're like, "You gotta be kidding me." So what do? They run. Obviously, they all start running, and then Jeremy and Aelita, they get caught up. But Oric's able to get away and get to the factory. And it's funny because right before Jeremy and Aelita get caught up, Jim is starting to chase them with the cops, and Jim is like running really funny, and then Org gets away, and then they catch Jeremy and Aelita, and then while Org runs into the forest to get to the sewer cap, Jimmy goes, "Don't worry guys, I got this." He runs and he instantly hits a tree. He instantly runs into a tree, so another detective goes after Org, but Org gets into the sewer cap first, and then he disappears, so they can't really find him. This is the funny scene where Jim, I don't know what was going on with Jim, man. That man was running real funny. Look at it. Okay, you're gonna see it in a far distance. You're not gonna be able to see it to him, but Jim's like this big red blob. He's running like this, and then we get like a close up where we actually get to see Jim a bit more clearly, and he's running even funnier. he's running even funnier. Look at this. He's like running with his back. You see this? I don't know what Jim is doing. Well, obviously, Orc was able to get away because Orc he was mad ahead. He was ahead of Jeremy and Aelita. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, never mind. I was gonna show something. Let me put this back on the TV. Whew. Tough stuff. So anyway, like I said, Jeremy's able to get to Oric's able to get to the factory. And we cut back to Odd and Yumi, and they're whatever they're at, it's like super cold. Like they can't stand it. Especially Yumi, she is shivering like crazy. So Odd goes, "Yo, Xana, if you were gonna kill us," he goes, "Well, I guess you're not gonna kill us, huh? You're trying to make us like, a bribe? If you were gonna kill us, you would have zapped us already. So you want to keep us alive. Well, if you don't know, cold can kill us too. My friend here is shivering like crazy. You gonna fix this somehow?" And we get to see Mr. Delmos go. And he takes off his jacket and he throws it over to Odd. And then Odd grabs it and puts it over Yumi. And Yumi's like, she's still shivering, but she's not shivering as bad. And Yumi like smiles, and I was like, no problem. He can stand the cold. You take the cold. So Yumi was shaking like a leaf, man. Like she could not handle it. Yumi couldn't handle it. We get two scenes back to back to where we get we get Jeremy and Aelita talking to Sissy, and they're explaining like this whole Xana thing, like, you need to help us get out of here because we're the only ones that can help your father because, Xana taking control, yada, yada, yada. And then we cut back to Odd and Yumi, and while Yumi is like, have the jacket on, boom, their phones fall out because Xana took their phones, and both their phones fall out of their pocket. So Yumi takes the jacket, puts it over her face, and calls Orc and tells her that they're at some sort of meat code locker, and that he needs to find them. But Xana, like, he overhears this, grabs the phones and destroys them. But Orc was able to hear, like, I'm in this cold meat code locker, so you need to come here quickly. But boom, that's when the connection cut off because the phones blew up. The phone literally blew. Xana, like, grabbed it with his electricity and went boom. It just exploded the phone. So they can't use those no more. Anyway, we cut right back to Sissy, Yumi, and we cut right back to Sissy, we cut right back to Sissy, Jeremy, and Alita. And Sissy isn't really believing this, but she's somewhat believing this because she really cares about her father. Obviously, it's her dad, and she's kind of nervous. So anything that she can kind of get as a lead to try to help her dad, she's gonna want to take it. We do cut back to Oric for a split second. It's a lot of cuts in this one section. We cut back to Oric in this one section where he's looking at the EMP. He doesn't really know how to use it because there's no instructions. He's like, come on, Jeremy. You got to put some instructions. So he just starts to flip a bunch of switches, and then boom, one switch makes it turn on. He's like, okay, let's go. So he puts that on a skateboard and starting to drag it over to the meat locker place that he heard Yumi talk about. So that's what's going on now. Then we cut back. Okay, finally, we cut back to Sissy. She's the one getting interrogated by the detective now. And she goes, she makes up, she is smooth. She's gonna smooth the situation. So she goes, yeah, my father, he's been like saying he's been making real weird noises, talking kind of funny for the last few days. He's been talking about how he's just done with this whole thing. He's so stressful. He doesn't know how to get his stress out, but he'll find a way to get his stress out one day. And he was kind of ordering these materials. Something started with a D, denominator, dextonator, and then the detective goes, wait, detonators? And she goes, yeah, that's the word. He was ordering those. And then he opened the door. He goes, evacuate the school. And then I said Yumi again. Alita, Jeremy, and Sissy all run out. But right before we see that scene, we see Sissy like smile, like she's really happy that she pulled it off. She was making up this story about him being crazy, saying all these crazy things, and now they got the cops thinking he has bombs placed around the school. So that was smooth though. That was pretty smooth. Have them think bombs placed around the school to make them leave. Cause I was not gonna let them stay there. If they think bombs at the school, they're not gonna let them stay there. If they think bombs at the school. And here is the scene right here. Sissy is just so happy. She's just so happy. This was a Sissy episode, man. I'm telling y'all, like this was a Sissy episode. Like we get a lot of Sissy things later on. It sucks because I used Sissy. Unless I can use that as a thumbnail or use something in here in a thumbnail. I used a Sissy render in the thumbnail last week. So I'm like, oh man, like this whole time I'm watching the episode, I was like, I should have saved it for this week. That made me so mad that I missed that, man. That sucks. So I'm gonna try to figure something out. Okay, let me fix this. Whew, okay. Whew. Okay, so anyway, we cut to Jeremy, Alita, and Sissy, and they're all running through the forest. And Sissy's like, well, if you guys are wrong about this whole Xana thing, I'm gonna be mad at you. Jeremy is thanking Sissy for like making up that story so they can get to where they need to go. Oric calls Jeremy. Jeremy answers, and we get the scene to where Oric has the detonator, the EMP, on the skateboard, and he's dragging it over to where Yumi Ada. So he goes, okay, you go save them. We're gonna go to the factory and wait for you. Okay, great, that's the idea. So Jeremy hangs up the phone and they keep running over to the manhole cover, and Sissy's still with them. Jeremy's like, oh, Sissy, you need something? Like, why are you still with us? Why are you still here? She goes, well, you guys say you can help my father out, so I want to come with you guys so I can help my father. He goes, okay, fine, whatever, let's go. So they all go to the factory. Jeremy, Sissy, and Alita. Okay. I don't know why the names were just messing me up there. I was like, my goodness gracious. So anyway, Oric's able to save Yumi and It's kind of funny because he gets like this meat locker cold place, and he looking through like door through door. He's slamming like each door he goes to. He's slamming it pretty hard. So I'm like, yo, Xana could be like he can't find where Xana's holding him at, but he's slamming the door so hard. I'm like, yo, you don't want them to know you're there, so you should like slam them kind of lightly, so you don't make so much noise. So he's trying to find where they're at. Jeremy telling Orc to hurry up because they're on the phone because the ultimatum that Xana said is like 2 minutes left. So he like, I can't find them anywhere. The ultimatum runs out, the timer goes off, and Xana notices this somehow, and he goes to electrocute Yumi and Odd, and he hears their scream. So he goes over to where they are. He charges up the EMP. And right before he like activates it, he goes, "Hey, yo, whoa, yeah, Jeremy, this thing isn't gonna fry the principal, is it?" "Oh, no, theoretically, no." "Okay, whatever." He activates it. It works. It knocks out the principal. Yumi, Odd, and Orc like, "Okay, come on, let's go to the factory." It does knock out the principal for like maybe like 12, 15 seconds, but then he wakes up pretty quickly, and he's still controlled by Xana. So I mean, it worked, but it didn't like fully work. Like Jeremy was saying, how it's gonna take Xana out of the person, but it did work to where they were knocked out for about 12, 15 seconds. So it worked like that. And then on Jeremy's end, they don't know exactly what happened because as soon as Orc activated the EMP, it fried his phone, so they can't talk anymore. So they have no idea what is going on. So they could think it didn't work, and they're all getting fried up right now. That's what I mean. Like that's what Sissy thinks, because Sissy's kind of panicking because Jeremy was like, theoretically it shouldn't kill your father, but he doesn't know for sure. So they might. So like some of them are thinking Sissy thinking her father might be dead. Jeremy thinking, maybe it didn't work, and they're all getting fried up right now. And Lita like, what do we like? On their end, they have no idea what's going on, and they can't because the phones are fried. So they're all kind of panicking right now. They don't really know what to do. Like this is like this is the worst case situation. Like what is going on? And Jeremy like pacing back and forth, and Sissy goes, "Hey Jeremy, yeah," and then she kicks Jeremy in the leg and punches him, and he hits his head against the chair and he passes out. And I'm like, yo, what is going? I ain't gonna front. Like I remember this episode a little bit from back in the day. But when I first watched, I was like, did Xana just take control of her? I was so confused, and he knocks out. And then Alita goes, "Whoa, where did you learn how to do that?" And she says he's been taking those karate classes to impress Orc, but they haven't been working. And she goes, "Okay, why did you want me to do that?" So I'm like, "Oh, okay." Alita asked her. Don't know when in that situation. It must have been off screen in like that split second because we didn't hear or see Alita lean over or whatever. But hey, it's whatever. We didn't see Alita lean over to Alita. I mean, we didn't see Alita lean over to Sissy and be like, "Hey, can you do this?" Or we didn't see them talk. I don't know. It must have been off screen in that split second. We saw Jeremy pace back and forth. Anyway, she goes, "I'm the only one that can deactivate the towers. Even though the skipper's always there, I'm the only one that can deactivate the tower." And I knew Jeremy wouldn't. Sorry, I said I knew Jeremy wouldn't want me to go there, so you had to knock him out. Okay, so Alita goes over to the scanners. He activates the timer. Well, I don't know why she didn't activate the timer, because when she gets to the scanners, she yells at Sissy to do it, and Sissy goes, "Okay, well, all right, fine. If you want to do this, press the button." And she goes to Lyoko. I'm like, couldn't you just set up the timer thing? I mean, it doesn't really make a difference. You would have got there either way, but you could have just set up the timer thing. But I mean, I guess have Sissy to do something. I'll see you. Hey, I guess just have Sissy to do something. Just have Sissy to do something. So we cut to Alita on Lyoko and she's running around in the ice sector. And while she's running around, 3 Triangulars are shooting at her. So she's running and running and running. And then we cut to the factory, and Yumi, Oric, and Odd they're all about to get inside the factory. But then we see Mr. Delbra, Xana, on the water. He's so fast he could run on the water, and he jumps up and lands right in front of them. And he goes, "Okay, Oric goes, "Okay, you two guys go to Lyoko, I'll handle him." He jumps up and kicks him in the chest, and then Xana zaps him and he goes flying back. I'm like, yo, that man can give you the most powers when he takes control. Like, this is ridiculous. He literally had Mr. Delbra running underwater. Look at this. He was literally running on the water. Like this is stupid. This is so stupid. Look, watch this. He had him moving so fast, he was able to run underwater. I almost missed the chair there. You almost saw me fall. You see? He's running underwater. Like, this is ridiculous. This is when Oric jumps up and kicks him in the chest. He goes, you guys go ahead. I'll take care of him. He zaps him. He goes flying back a little bit. Okay. So we put this back on the TV. Oh, actually, no, I gotta show the TV this second because Alita, we cut back to Alita on Lyoko, as you just saw, and see running and running and running, and then there's a slide, and then we get another cool scene when she's in a tube slide, a tube like an ice tube slide. I love those scenes. She's in one of those. She's just sliding around, and eventually she comes out. She lands on the ground, and then one Krangolok gets killed inside. One Krangolok gets killed inside of the tube because one Krangolok is like shooting like crazy, and it hits the other Krangolok. So now there's two. When Alita gets out of it, one of the Krangoloks hit against the like it's sorry. There's three Krangoloks. Those names, man. I hate those names. So long and confusing. There's three Krangoloks. One gets killed inside of the ice tube because one Krangolok was shooting like crazy and it gets destroyed. So now there's two. Alita gets flung out of the ice slide and lands on the ground, and she almost hits against a wall. Now, one Krangolok flies out just like Alita and hits against that wall. Alita almost hit and it explodes. Now, that's only one Krangolok. Now, one Krangolok runs up on Alita because it didn't get destroyed, and then a Schizopozoa comes out of nowhere and grabs her up. So, okay, that's what happened. I was throwing it so bad because Krangolok, like, that name, I could have swore they called them Roasters at one point. I was saying Roasters for the longest, but I gotta call them Krangoloks because that's the official name now. I mean, I think it's always been the official name. It's just I've been saying it wrong. I've just been saying it wrong. That sucks. But this is the cool ice tube scene. Like I said, where Alita's inside the ice tube and she's just sliding around. Like this would be so cool to be in. This would be so cool to be inside of. But the only not fun part is as soon as you get out, you will hit the ground pretty hard. Like I remember that one episode with Ada and Alita when they were inside of it. They smacked the ground, man. Like it wasn't even funny. They smacked the ground hard. Ooh, I felt bad for them. I know that. I mean, if they were in the Lyoko, they would have had a few broken bones. Most definitely, a few broken bones. Anyway, we cut back to Jeremy. We get a first-person view where he's like waking up, and the camera's like, his eyes like, what's going on? He goes, Jeremy, I sent Alita inside the video game thing, and she was doing alright, but now there's this giant squid thing, and as soon as he says squid, Jimmy goes, squid. Oh no, Alita, what did you do? And he gets inside the chair, he starts to type on it. He has a mic in his thing, and then the elevator opens, and then Yumi, he goes, go to Lyoko now on the double. So they go down to Lyoko, they get virtualized, and they get to Lyoko. And let me cut to that. So they get to Lyoko, they get on their vehicles, and they all go to the ice slide. It's like maybe like 5 feet away from the ice slide. So Yumi, she flies over the ice slide, while Odd goes inside the ice slide. But before Odd goes inside the ice slide, he starts to like do what Alita did last episode, literally like having the time of her life, just going on some ice ramps, and then he goes inside the slide, and then Alita, she gets saved by Yumi, because we see both her fans get flung. One fan kills the Krangolok, and the other fan cuts up the Schizopozoa, and then he's back at her, and Odd, he jumps up and he shoots the Schizopozoa, but they never hit the target. They always hit the head and cut off the tubes, but they never hit the target to fully disintegrate it. I don't know why, because every enemy they just destroy and it can come back next episode. I don't know why that can't happen for the Schizopozoa. I just don't know why that can't happen for the Schizopozoa. They never hit the target for the Schizopozoa. They just never hit the Xana logo. I don't know why. If they would have said Xana can only make one of these things. Okay, I could understand. So now it's like, it's plot. They're making them miss the target on purpose because Xana can only make one of these things. But he never said that. So why do they always miss the target? They always miss the target. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, oh my goodness. Anyway, we cut to Jeremy telling him to hurry up because Oric is getting massacred up there by Xana. And then he goes, "What the, Sissy, where you go?" And we hear the elevator doors close. He goes, "Okay, whatever." And then we cut back to Lyoko. And then we see this giant ice pillar that 3 tarantulas are on top of. and on top of that pillar is a hole. Like on the roof of this pillar is a giant ice hole. So that's where they have to go because the tower is like because they went towards where the tower is supposed to be. There's no tower, but it's that ice pillar and there's a hole inside that ice pillar and 3 tarantulas. So they're like, okay, we're gonna have to get inside that hole. That's probably where the tower is, but there's 3 tarantulas blocking the way. 3 tarantulas. So this is what happens. Odd and Yumi fly around this giant ice pillar for a little while. Odd, he has a cool move to where he completely cuts off the boosters for his overboard. Then he boosts all the way up and he shoots one tarantula and kills it. And he flies around again. And then they go, okay, Odd, you distract one tarantula, I distract the other one, and then Alita, at my moment, you gotta jump. Okay, that's what we gotta do. So Odd, he rushes in there to distract one tarantula, but it doesn't work out so well. He does use shield, and we haven't seen shield in a long time. But he uses shield, he blocks like 2 attacks, but then he gets shot in the legs a lot, and he gets devirtualized. So that's not good. So what does Yumi do? She goes, Yumi, okay. Yumi goes, Alita, you take control of the overboard, I got this. He jumps off the overboard, takes out both her fans. I only got one fan. And while she's falling, she turns into like a human drill. She just spins around, and lands. And then when she lands on the ice, she's like an ice skater. I thought I broke this for a second. I remember she's like an ice skater. She just lands on the ground. She keeps spinning, and both tarantulas are shooting at her like crazy. And she keeps blocking it. And then she throws one fan out. It kills a tarantula, and now there's only one tarantula left. And then she goes, now! And then Alita jumps off the over wing, falls into the ice slide, and she sees the tower. And Tarantula sees that happen. He gets mad and shoots at Yumi, and then he gets disintegrated. She gets disintegrated. I said he. I don't know why I said he. But look at this. This scene was so cool, man. She gets both her fans in her hand and starts to spin like a human drill. This was a cool move. She spins all the way down. Oh, what? Oh, I didn't get the full thing. My bad, y'all. That was at the very end. That was at the very end of this. Anyway, okay, here we go. Here's the beginning. You see Yumi take both her fans out and start spinning like a human drill all the way down to the ice. And when she gets to the ice, she keeps on spinning. And then the tarantula shooting at her, and she keeps blocking it. She keeps on blocking it. This was cool. I love this scene so much. This was cool. And then she throws the fan, and it kills one tarantula. And then, like I said, Alita's able to get to the tower and then get devirtualized. And while she's getting to the tower and she's getting devirtualized, we cut to outside, and Xana that's taking over Mr. Dobros is messing up Oric. Like, he's getting beat down. Out of nowhere, Cici comes out, has like a metal pipe, hits him in the back of the head pretty hard. Not in front. Like, she hits him pretty hard, and then they both fight him, and then he's like thrashing them both until Z goes cold Lyoko and able to cut it off. So, that was lucky for both of them. They were getting thrashed by him pretty hard. Look, this is the scene right here where Cici comes out of nowhere and just hits her dad super hard in the back of the head. Like, it's not even funny how hard I messed up. Where's that scene at? Okay, it must be right here then. Yeah, it must be right here then. My bad. I'm wasting your time. I'm wasting your time a little bit. Yeah, okay, here we go. Nope. It's further back. Because Sissy was already on the ground. As soon as I played that, Sissy was on the ground. So I'm like, how is he going to hit him in the back of the head if Sissy's on the ground? That wouldn't make any sense. That would not make any sense if Sissy's already on the ground. Anyway, right after that, she goes, is he okay? Is he dead? Or he's like, no, he's not dead. He goes, no, he's not dead. He just knocked out. He'll be okay. Well, what's going to happen to my dad? All these detectives came. They thought he had bombs. What's going to happen? He goes, hey, it's going to be okay. And nobody's going to remember anything. Not even you. She goes, what about you? He goes, yeah, I remember it. But, it's different for me. She goes, well, then you remember this. And she goes over to Oric and kisses him. Literally kisses him. Oric's, like, shocked. And then we just, like, the camera pans out. And Odd is standing there. He goes, yo, Jeremy, activate, Return to the Past, because I'd rather not see this. And he activates Return to the Past, and we get the exact same scene. as we saw later on. Early on in the episode, where she goes, "Oh wait, oh I just saw William with Yumi," or doesn't say anything, and she walks past him, and then Jeremy goes, Oric. He goes, "Huh? Yeah, Oric. Are you still Are you still remembering what happened on the Briggs?" And then Yumi goes, "Yeah, what did happen on the Briggs?" And then Lita goes, "Yeah, what happened on the Briggs?" Oric, "Nothing. Odd. I mean, he's right. Nothing happened." And then all the boys get up and start to walk away. Man, what's going on with them? That's whatever. It's probably just a boy thing. And then Yumi looks at Oric because Oric looks at Sissy, and Sissy looks at him, and he does a thumbs up, and she goes, "Yeah," like she not yeah, but she like smiles at him. Yumi's like, "What the?" Hey, and then the episode ends up. I just love that scene so much. Why? Because Jeremy wasn't on the Briggs, and then when he was on the phone with that. I mean, when he was on the phone with Odd, he didn't say that kissing do Return of the Past. He said, "Right now, look at this." So that means they met up with Jeremy, told Jeremy because the boys, like, "Jeremy, you can't believe this." Obviously, they're not gonna tell the girls because Yumi would get mad, and Alita will tell. She would just tell Yumi, but they're boys, that's what I'm talking about. The bro code, what I mean? Like they found Jeremy after the Return of the Past and told him. They probably joked around like, "Oric, like Oric, man, you can't tell Yumi, man." Like they found Jeremy and told him this, but obviously they wouldn't tell Yumi. That made sense like that. I just love that scene because of what it applies. Because what that scene applies, I just love that scene. I just love that scene because of what it implies. I just love it. Like they included Jeremy in this, man. I just love it. I love that. I love it. I love it, man. That is hilarious. That is funny, boy. And that's the end of the episode. I don't know why I can't find this one scene of Sissy smacking the daylights out of her father. I don't know why I can't find this one scene. Like, this is ridiculous. Okay, I'm gonna just put it right here. I think it's right here. If it's not when Yumi kills both of these things or one of these things, it's not anyway. So anyway, before I find this scene, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you all later. I thank you all for watching. I thank you all for being wonderful human beings. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. I didn't snap too well on this finger. Bye-bye. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay. I honestly don't know what's happening anymore. Yo, it's this far. It's this far back. My goodness. Yo, I suck. I suck at reviewing. I just wanted it even further back. It is way far back. I was off the money. I was off the money, like, mad hard. Whew. Man, I gotta remember what this stuff is. I was like off the money hard. I don't know what I was doing. I was off the money way hard. Okay, here it is. Here it is. It's way behind. This is the scene where Sissy comes out of nowhere and pow! She smacks him hard. Anyway, okay. That was the end of the episode. That took me forever for no reason. And then that whole little scene was just so funny. What happened? Nothing. Like, Oric's face was just so shocked. What happened? Nothing. He was so scared. Okay, I'm back for time. See ya. Okay.